Detailer's Roadmap Cruise Control, where we navigate the roadways of life, business, and everything in between. Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Cruise Control Podcast, brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. This is one of our Troubleshooting Your Business episodes. We are here with Michael D'Andrea.
There you go. There you go.
Michael D'Andrea, depending on where you want to put that emphasis in. And we are here with Grant Menard. Normally, Barry Theal from SB3 is here also. He may jump in late. He had a little bit of a transportation issue this morning, out probably buying Mercedes from David Caballero from last week. Last episode after we talked about all the Mercedes he had around his shop. So,
and loading a lot of beef.
That's right. Yeah. So, side note for those of you that have listened to the last episode that we did, we will have a, you may have seen the beef jerky access count and decibel meter that we're going to put on that video. So we're pretty excited about that. But hey, let's get started. I'm going to run through, like I did last time, some slides. All right. Perfect. So this is Michael looking like he is pretending to use his polisher. We know everybody else in his shop does it for him.
I'm over here while the guys are over there working on the Tesla, so I'm good.
There you go.
We had a 308 in the shop this morning, and I set up the camera, and the guys are like, "You only set up the camera and focus on yourself, so it looks like you do any work." I was like, I got to be on there at least once, That's it.
That works out, dude.
That's benefits of, what do they say? It's good to be the king. All right, so we got years of business. We got 3. You're a young dude, so we'll talk a little bit about that. 24, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
So your team size, now you put 4 to 7, but then you said 3 this morning, so it's more like 3, right?
Yeah, so we in the summer, we had another guy, and then my mom actually helps with our interior details. So, anywhere from 3 to 5 people usually. This summer was crazy busy, so I had to hire on another guy, but then unfortunately it just didn't work out with him.
Yeah, that happens. Revenue, 45 grand a month, operating costs 20 grand or 2,000, labor 16, material 4, fixed costs 17. I've calculated margin at about 51%. You do SEO through Details Roadmap, plus you're doing all the PPC stuff, which I will talk about that, but I think you do that yourself.
Yep.
For the most part. You post every 1 or 2 days on social, primarily Facebook, I think you said, and then you're doing daily on Google My Business, which is the way you want to do it. Orbis X is your CMS, and your regional area, which is relatively small, 45K. That's about what we're at here. Ceramic coating, exterior, interior detailing, paint correction, and PPF. So you said you're a people person, which is awesome. I said on Facebook the other day, I'm a my people person, not a people person. So
yeah. That's definitely a better way to describe it. I don't like everybody. That's for sure.
Your team is close, and you guys are great at training quickly and getting things done. In that way, your challenges, your lower close rate, which basically one of the things you said is you want to have a better process for that. And just to bring you up to speed, Grant, on this, the close rate note that he gave was basically almost talking too much on these calls and going through that sales process.
You're talking too much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I like I'll go, and if somebody has a cool car, I'll start talking to them about the car, and then we'll just keep rambling on, and next thing I know, it's half an hour, and then we're just talking like we're old friends, but then I never close a sale. Like, even though I'm like, hey, like, we can get you on the schedule for next week, this, that, and the other. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna think about it and this and that. So like, well, I'll talk to them and they'll be real friendly and they're happy, and then all of a sudden they don't want to spend any money. So
cool.
Yeah. You said you're a little bit limited on your growth based on your space and availability in your area, leadership, training, and knowledge. And then your goal is 75K in monthly revenue, learn better sales and leadership skills, because you pointed out that the leadership aspect of it, which honestly, part of it is just you're a young guy kind of trying to get that, you're trying to figure that out, and then grow to a larger shop that you're in from what your existing location and maybe add a second one. So those are kind of those are the highlights. I'm going to
give me a lowdown. How did you get into this business? You were 21 when you started?
I think I was like 19 or 20 maybe, so my mom actually would clean cars at our house, like just wash them and vacuum the inside and stuff like that. And then I started helping her. And then I was like, I can make some money doing this. And then I bought a Fiesta ST and I needed money for car parts. So I started doing mobile detailing out of the Fiesta, which was very, very hard. I have obviously no space in a Fiesta. So I'll toss all my stuff in there and try to do some mobile jobs. Stopped doing that because I hated working out in the sun and did not want to do it for sure. Turned my garage into like a studio, with lights, air conditioning, heat, everything like that, so I could work year round. And then I outgrew that so quickly. Like, I mean, I put the air conditioning and heater, like in January, I put the heater in, and then by March, I had to look for a space. So and then it took months for me to find anything. I didn't get a space till June, just because there's like limited availability. And I technically wasn't even supposed to be in that location because it wasn't zoned for it. So I was just operating, kind of secretly. And then when the city found out about us, I had to move. So that's why we just moved now.
And where are you at now?
We're in Carroll Stream, so about 20 minutes west of Elmhurst, where we were before.
What's the shop look like? Give us a layout of how the shop is.
So where I'm sitting right now is the front office. So the entrance door is right in front of me. Towards that way is where the shop entrance is. We have a little maybe 10 by 10 spot where we can work a little bit, but we just moved in, so we have a lot of stuff there. And then the actual shop is about 16 to 1,800 square feet. Then we have a upstairs storage area, so that knocks out about 400 square feet of usable space.
You have PPF rooms?
Our storage area is upstairs. No, nothing is. It's just all one open room.
Okay. Do you have plotters or anything for fans?
So I actually have a guy who comes in and does our PPF. So okay. I don't have to have a plotter or anything. I try to do PPF. I took training with Detail Wise. I just don't have the patience. Like, I'm hot headed. If something doesn't go right, I start throwing. It's bad. So I just don't have the patience. It's a lot better for my mental health if I have a guy who's been doing it for 10 years and I can just pay him and not have to worry about it. And I know every single install is good. It's a lot easier on me.
Yeah, impatience with PPF can burn through a lot of material costs. Sure.
That's what I was wondering.
I didn't want to spend $100,000 on throwing away film because I knew with my low patience, that's exactly what I would do.
All right, so we got a couple things on leadership. We got that you have no patience, that you're a hothead, and that you're expecting a 10-year vet to want to show up at your shop and do everything perfect. So this is a good start.
Well, the thing is, he does. It's like he set my expectation, so it's like now that's what I expect to come out of my shop, and I can't match him because I have no experience, right?
And what's your rev share from him to come in? Like, what do you get? Are you just paying him by the job, by the hour, taking a percentage, or what?
Yeah, I pay him by the job. So it's $1,600 for a full front that I pay him.
And then what do you retail it at?
$2,200.
Okay, that's low.
If someone's nice to me, I'll give them a discount on a coating and do it for $2,000 or something like that. But still,
no, you're low
right there.
Yeah. So you're netting how much? Then you said 16. So you're only netting between $400 and $600 on that job.
Right. Yeah. So
it takes up how much of your shop? I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. So if you've got this 1,300, so you have 1,300 usable space without the overhang, or no? Because I assume you kind of have a loft set up, right? Based on the way you
So it's 60 by 60 long, 30 wide, and the bump out is maybe 15 or 20 feet long, less than that, So right now the way we have it set up is we have the wash bay right in the front. That's where the best place it would be, right as you come in the door. And then we can stack like 3 cars that way if we needed to. If we need to store that many, we could stack 3 cars right on top of each other and probably fit 9 to 10 cars like sardines in there, but still fit not
workable. So what I'm trying to get at is how much space is he occupying and for how long? Because that'll kind of let us know whether that's $600 to $800 per unit of, per square foot makes sense or not. That's
good. I mean, he only takes up as many square feet as a car takes, so 200 square feet maybe, right? And then he's out. For a full front, it takes him half a day, maybe a day sometimes. So It's not like it's a whole lot of time. Whenever we do coating and PPF jobs, we tell them like, hey, drop off on a Monday, pick it up by a Wednesday morning. It's pretty simple process.
Are you prepping all the cars for him?
Yeah. So I do every single car. Like I said, me and my team will prep them all, and then he'll come in and lay the film for us.
How long's prep?
It depends on the car. Like this Model Y that we had to prep before I came on took the three of us 15 minutes to wash clay and dry it. So
an hour of labor.
About an hour, 45 minutes to an hour usually. And then when we polish it, anywhere from 45 minutes if it's like a perfect car for a one step to 2 hours for a one step, and then if we had a two step, obviously it's a couple more hours. So we're not spending crazy long. My goal is to be finished with coating a car before lunchtime. So we open at 8 and I want to be finished with at least the first car by noon, if not before then.
Okay. All right, cool. Give me a breakdown, or give us a breakdown of the your fixed cost. So what's rent costing you? Is it the 1,700?
So 2450 in this new spot. It was about 1,700 in the last spot.
So 2450.
Yeah, plus utilities. And I haven't gotten our first utility bill because like I said, we just moved in, so I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet.
Okay, so about $2,500, and then we'll add 30% to that. So I'm just gonna do some math real quick. Kev, you have questions? I'm just gonna do some math real quick.
Yeah. So if you're billing out, just walk me through the revenue on coating and full front on that. Like what? So if you've got 3 man hours into it on your team for coating, plus you're getting, I'm just trying to get an idea of like to get a car in, do coating and then PPF both. That, kind of walk me through that while Grant's doing some math.
Like as far as how much we charge for everything?
Yeah. What you're charging. Obviously, the costs are relatively minimal on a coating job. So
right. Yeah. So we charge, like I said, we charge $2,200 to do a full front, and then our coating packages start at $700. That's for like a brand new car. So we'll wash clay, do a one step on it, like more of a paint enhancement because it's a new car, and then get it. That's just paint and plastic. For a 5-year coating, we use Underdog Pro, and then if you want to do the glass and the wheels as well, we can definitely do that. It's $200 for the glass and $200 for the wheel faces. And then if you want a longer lasting coating like Pro Plus, like I have on my car, that starts at $1,100.
Okay,
bro, why don't you just say that to every person that walks in the door?
I do. I tell them that it came out so smoothly because that's exactly what I tell them. This is what I say to them. Yeah.
So it's the whole lead up to that. That's where you get a little lost to talking to them for like a half hour.
It could be anywhere in that scenario. Like if they call me and say, "Oh yeah, I got an RS5." Well, I drive an S4, so I immediately am going to like this guy. So then we start talking about Audi and this and that, and then I give him the spiel, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let me think about it."
Okay. All right, we can work on it.
I try to be real nice to people and like talk to them and be cool, but sometimes like I just spend way too much time on the phone. Like that's what my guys say is they always tell me I'm on the phone for too long. Like I'm going to see. I think yesterday I was on the phone with a guy for like half an hour and I didn't even close the job. We were just talking. Yeah. But like
it's too much. It's too much focusing on the connection aspect of it, which I know Grant is huge. But like there's a balance between connecting and selling, right?
Kind of,
right?
To a degree, definitely to a degree. We can work on that a little bit. We just got to get a little bit more of understanding here. So give us a lowdown. So this $45,000, how is this broken out? The $45,000 a month.
So honestly, most of it is coding jobs. Right. Our peak month, I can look it up in Orbis. It was 67,000 in June, I believe.
Makes sense.
Yeah, 67,000 in June. That's our peak, and we did a lot of PPF that month. But I obviously only makes, like I said, $600 on each PPF job. So probably half that for what we actually did. If each coating is average ticket's $1,000, we do 2 a day. That's $2,000. So I mean, that's $40,000 there. The other 20 is probably the PPF. Because the whole month we had 2 coatings every single day plus film. So, about $40,000 is just doing coatings. And I mean, we were rocking and rolling. Even on the forums and stuff on Facebook, I don't see anybody that does that many coatings a month. Like doing 40 coatings and we only had, 3-4 people is kind of insane.
No, it's because the people that are doing 40 coatings aren't online.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why. So
yeah,
that's true.
100%.
The true shops, which I may or may not know, one that does over 40 coatings a month doesn't care about what's going online.
May or may not. Yeah.
It's not a may or may not. It's 100% guarantee. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's that's why you're not seeing it. So you were just a little bit involved with which is fine, with the social side of things. Yeah, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I was too, dude. When I was your age, I was not even your age. When I was at the same point in my business, same thing. I was online all the time. Quickly came to realize that outside of this wonderful podcast that we do every single week and everything that Kevin does and Detailer's Roadmap does, everything else is just noise.
Yeah.
Not a big worry.
I mean, this can be noise too, depending on who's talking. Me. So can you break down margins on a coating job just so we have it? Because your margin on your PPF is about 20% or less, depending on
right. Yeah, because
so
the only thing we're doing is washing. So
like when you do a coating job though of your $700, let's just take that single layer. What's your labor costs? And I mean, I assume with Underdog the coating cost is relatively low, but
yeah, super low. So I mean, if we used Underdog Pro, which is our base 5-year coating, a bottle costs $100 or $50. Yeah, $50 for a 60 ml bottle, or no, 30 ml bottle. Sorry, so that's 2 cars from that bottle. So it doesn't cost much at all. So I mean, all in together is probably like $200-$300 in labor and material for that entire job because we get it done pretty quickly.
About 55-60% margin on coating.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So like, I mean, I understand people charge a lot. They charge more for coatings, but like me, I can't charge somebody. Like I don't feel right charging somebody $2,000 to apply this coating. And then they go through a car wash the next week. And then, then they try to blame me and say the coating didn't work right or this and that and the other. So I try to be realistic. I wouldn't pay somebody $2,000 to do it. So I don't feel comfortable charging somebody that much. But then again, there's going to be a point in time where I'm going to have to raise my prices to something like that. And I just have to get comfortable with it.
You may or may not. I mean, your margins
depends on the it depends on the market, depends on the margins, depends on volume. Obviously, volume. There's a ton of different factors. So I wouldn't just don't wrap your mind around saying, "Well, I just don't charge enough," because it may or may not be true.
Yeah. So Mike, so to give you some background on charging, because this is a big topic in our industry, is what should I charge? Like, how much should I charge? Why is somebody like my shop, our lowest coatings, or we charge $2,500 to $3,500 for every single coating that comes through our door. The reason behind it is based off of basically chart number 2 here, which is how much is my operating cost? What's my labor cost? What's my materials cost? What's my fixed cost? All that is so much higher for us because I got 20 plus people that work here. I got 2 people up front. I got 5 people that support the people in the back. We got 16 people back there. There's so many people that are working around one $2,500 job that our margins are basically about the same as yours. We're actually a little bit under the 51%, but the margins aren't too far off. The reality is our guys make a ton of money. They're phenomenal at what they do, and it costs us a lot of money to operate the facility that we're currently in. So obviously we have to charge. We're not charging $2,500 so we can make $2,000. We're charging $2,500 because we have to charge $2,500 to keep up with our margins. Okay,
right,
that are consistent across the board, across all of our products and services that we offer. So it's something to consider there. Don't raise your prices just because you feel like you have to. Raise your prices.
Right.
Raise your prices because you actually need to. Okay, not just because you're like, oh, I just want to charge a $1,500 coating. Well, that's not a good business move right there. Let's figure out your margin, see where you need to be at, and then you charge accordingly to that. And if people say no, that's not a problem. We can get over that too. I can go over numbers. Give us a breakdown though. $1,600 or $16,000 in labor costs for a month with 3 guys. That seems like a little. So how much? What's your take home?
I think I must have entered that in wrong. I think it's supposed to be $6,000, not $16,000.
Oh, okay, that's a little different.
Yeah. That changes things a little bit. Yeah. So, my main guy makes $51,000 a year. What does that come out to an hour?
About 25. So 25, 50
about 25 an hour. Yeah. So, if he takes 4 hours to work on a coating with me, that's $100 there, and I'm around the same pay scale, right? So, I'm pretty fair with how we pay our team here, with how much we can pay. But obviously, the goal would be eventually pay everybody more, make everybody happy, and everybody always wants to make more money. So everybody's happier when they make a little bit more and have a good work environment to be in. You can make $100,000 in a detail shop, but if it's a shitty environment, it's not a fun place to be. The guy we had for the summer, he was a super hard worker, right? Put his head down, put his headphones on, and work. He just knew what to do. But unfortunately, he didn't get along with the guys, so I had to let him go. It was getting to a toxic work environment. I didn't want to come in every day and have to deal with that.
Wow, it's awesome.
So that puts us more like 70% margin, by the way.
It seems like all these numbers are skewed. So let's just start here. How's the business doing overall, Mike? Why are you jumping on this podcast then? Because if you're making 70% margins on $45,000 at 24 years old, 3 years into a business, there's not much that we can really do to help you out.
You can always learn more.
But is that reality? Are you making 70% on a $45,000 a month business?
I definitely would not say 70%. No, I mean,
okay.
like I said, for instance, so like our coding, we did about 40,000 in codings in June, right? Say, like I said, each ticket was $1,000 on average. If it cost me, $250 in labor to pay or $275 in labor to pay me and the two other guys, plus probably another $100 in material, it's $375. So we net about $625 on that $1,000 package. Obviously before any kind of tax or anything like that.
Is that reality?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah, the only thing I can really do from here is just try to have more employees and I mean I don't want to like crank out cars all day long, but if that's what we have to do,
I mean that's 63%.
Yeah,
62.5% on that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I got a better question for you. So you're going to do about $500,000 this year, correct?
Probably a little bit under that because we are going into the slow season, right? So we're kind of struggling this month, definitely from our peak, but we're still gonna do okay. We're definitely gonna cross the $400,000 threshold, but I wouldn't say we're gonna hit $500,000.
400. How much do you make?
60.
Okay. So do you have $240,000 in the bank?
No. After all the expenses we had to do this place, definitely not.
Did you have $240,000 in the bank?
Not at one time, no. The highest I've ever seen was a little over 100, and that was a mind-boggling number.
Yeah. So the reality is your numbers are not what you think they are. Not a bad thing, under any means. Okay.
Right.
Especially what was the build out cost for your new facility?
About 30 so far, and we're still not done. So far.
How much more do you have to go?
If I had to guess, probably another 4,000.
Okay. So we'll call it $35,000 all in. Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, the first thing, especially when you're about to grow, Mike, is to really understand your numbers, like truly understand your numbers. Because right now, your $750 of coding is just you're throwing that number out because you feel comfortable, not just charging that, but you would feel comfortable paying that to somebody else, $750.
Right.
That's where you're valuing. Right. You're valuing your service at $750. But what's that $750 broken up? How exactly is that $750 broken up? Right? Do we really actually know? You're like, well, I kind of make like $625. Well, is it $625 or is it not? We just showed it's definitely not. Right? And your $600. I did the math on that. After you're paying taxes, you're making a little over $270 per job on a PPF full front. So you're taking all liability on a job and shutting your shop down for a day to make $200.
Yeah, so whenever we do PPF jobs, we're not like that's going to be an extra thing. I don't say, hey, this is the only job we're going to have in the shop today. And
correct.
We're just going to sit here and not do anything. So, he's over there doing his own thing and we're over here prepping a car, coding a car, things like that. So he's taking up a spot, but he's only going to be there for a day and then it's going to be kicked out.
So in June, if he wasn't in that spot, you could have done 2 extra coding jobs that day? Because you said half a day for each coding job, right? So
yeah, it takes about half a day. Yeah. So, I mean, we were getting a bunch of leads, but where we fall back on is the closing process. I don't have enough people for me to step out and take every single phone call and also be super efficient and like try to do this, that, and the other. So I need to clone myself a million times to do every single job. But unfortunately that's not possible. So I need to find somebody that can do the sales process and take that part of the job from me. Because I mean,
Or
like,
get you out from, I'm going to go wash this Tesla while we wait for this podcast to
That's
start.
ridiculous.
Like you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
did. I mean, that's it's not you need to find somebody to sell more and close more. You need to find someone to
Yeah.
do the crap that you shouldn't be doing so that you can learn how to sell more and close more.
Yeah.
So the point I'm asking, I think Grant's getting at this too, is like the amount of space, time, and liability that you're assuming on a full front PPF for that to be $270 in profit, which is, I mean, dude, that's
If
like
you're lucky.
10%. That's like, you're making like 12% off of that time. So like
Right.
that's not necessarily sustainable for you. I mean, it may not make sense. And so we can walk through that, but
Question: does the guy that
Right. No,
installs film, is he insured? Does he have his own insurance?
yeah.
And you're on his insurance policy?
I am not. I have my own insurance policy as well.
Meaning your facility and your business is written under his insurance. It has his insurer. You have a certificate handed from him for his insurance.
No, but I've seen his insurance. Like he showed me that
Okay.
he's insured.
So let me break this down for you. Let me break this down for you. 100%. He says he's insured. Okay. He messes up a Tesla in the front. Okay. Now you're respraying the full front of the Tesla. $3,500. Okay. For you to make $3,500, you have to do another 10 jobs. Let's say he backs out on that job, and now you're no longer because he's like, oh well, I'm not putting this through insurance. Why should I put it through insurance? It's your business. It's your time. Let's say he steps out. You don't know the guy. You've never gone through a situation like that. The amount of time it's going to take, the amount of cards it's going to take for you to make that up. Yeah,
he'll come back.
Yeah,
he'll come back. Yeah, you broke up a little bit. You said the last thing we heard was you don't know this guy. You don't know what he's going to do. Kind of. So your Wi-Fi is breaking up a little bit on us.
Mate, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're. I don't know if you're sitting in a dead-ish spot in your office
No,
for this, but
I got full bars, baby.
That's weird. Okay, well we'll deal with it. No big deal.
Sorry. So anyway, so for this guy, like it would take if an insurance issue happens and you're putting this through, you got to pay cash for this. The amount of cars it's going to take for you to make up for that is pretty substantial for this. So this one car, I'm not saying outsourcing is a bad thing under any means, but for it to be worth you and your liability and your time, $270 is not it. Getting to Kevin's point too, I know right now you might not be able to fill it. Even at peak, you might not be able to fill that space, which is probably what your mindset is. I don't fill it right now, so I don't mind throwing in a job there to get a full body or to get a paint protection film done. And if you're deciding, Mike, that you want to get into PPF down the line and you want to add it in-house, it's phenomenal to have a third party that you can just say, thank you for everything that you've done. I've now trained my own guy. I've gotten somebody in-house. It's a great opportunity because you're building the market. You're having somebody come in that's third party. You're showcasing that you guys offer paint protection film. The word's getting out there. You do a great job on film, right? It's a great way to do it. That's how we got into paint protection film too. I third party everything until the market showcases that we can bring somebody in full time to take on that position. Okay. So for you right now, you're like, well, I don't really have that position. We don't have enough cars coming in. It's just a day of the week, blah, blah, blah. The reality is, if you're to step out, and we're going to go over this in a little bit too, and actually position yourself around full-time salesperson, or if you don't want to do the sales, you want to bring somebody else in to do full-time sales, that spot is going to be filled within the next year, 18 months at most. Okay, so right now you're focusing on the now, totally fine, totally normal, which in reality, especially in a new space that you just dumped 35 grand into, that's too small for you already. I would probably stop putting money into a place that's already too small for you. You're going to be moving out of this place fairly soon. Okay, because you're going to need more space. You're already out of space. You only have 1,800 square feet back there. It's great, but is it for what you want? You're kind of maxed out for your current location. If you want to kind of get to that 5, 7, 10 people mark, you want to start doing $500,000, $250,000, $1 million a year consistently. The space is either too small or you got to charge a lot more for your coatings because your coatings are way, way, way undervalued.
This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is at Detailer's Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailer's Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation or you need a brand new website, Detailer's Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS.
All right, so we're good. So Mike, so get into the shop space. So you only have so much space right now. The reality is you got to start looking multiple years down the line. And you probably made this move because you had to leave your other location. So you jumped in the next thing. And then you're like, I'm going all out for this without kind of questioning, is this the right space for me? Or is this enough space for me in the next 24 months? Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, it did. And I looked for properties for 9 months. And if you looked at my market, I would love to find a spot I was looking for 3,000 to 5,000 square feet for months.
Yeah.
And there is nothing available. Everybody that I call says they want no automotive use, no anything. Even if there's drains, even if there's a catch basin, everything. Nobody wants anything to do with anything that has to do with cars around here. I don't know why. They just like to demonize us and think we're dirty mechanics. And I show them all of our work. I show them our Instagram and I say, this is what we do. Like, we have nice cars that come in and we just wash them and coat them and we're good. And they want nothing to do with us. So unfortunately, I kind of have really, really slim pickings around here to find a space. And I had this landlord, and he's super open to letting us expand into other spots here. And there's 2 locations that I think are going to open up within the next couple months, anyways, in 2 units here. So we can expand, double our size that
Cool.
way. I like I said, I was looking for 3,000 to 5,000 square feet because I wanted to grow into it, but unfortunately, it's just not available around here.
Yeah, understandably for right now. So the cool thing is that your business is doing really well, and you might not know that. Like doing 45 grand, like having a $400,000 business this year in your 3rd year, like,
Yeah.
dude, that's exceptional. That's not a small amount or small feat. So you should be applauding yourself for that. That's really, really great. The cooler part about this is that you're paying your guys really well. One of the things I already love about you is that your team comes first. Right, the reason that you're a people person and you got a great team and that follows you is, one, you pay them well as being a small business, taking on for 3 of you guys 3 years in your business to pay not just yourself but another person over 50 grand. That's damn good. So I applaud you for that. That's awesome, dude. So let's get back to where we're at. So when we were at 67 grand, that peak month, was that 100% capacity 100% of the time?
Yeah, we were doing 2 coatings a day and even like prepping 3 cars a day with a PPF job. So with our last shop space, we only had 1,200 square feet. We can only fit 4 cars in there. But when there's a lift in there, so you can't use that one bay. So there's really only 3 usable spots. And if we have to wash, it's going to be outside, and we're not really supposed to do that because it's not going into a basin and all that. But so we could work on 3 cars in a day, and that was kind of our max because obviously we have to let the car sit overnight for them to cure and everything. Can't really pump out anything else than that.
What did you do last year in business?
130.
Whoa!
And that was out of my house.
That's a big growth.
That was out of my house. That was sorry. So January through June, that was in my house. June through December was in the shop.
The smaller 1,200 square foot shop.
Right. Correct.
Wow, dude. So you went from 130 to 400.
Yeah. And that was, so I've been doing this a long time, right? 4 or 5 years. And I've always worked another job while I detailed. Always, right? So I used to work at a grocery store, work 5 a.m. to 1, then go detail after work, right? And then I quit that, and then I would work 6 to 2, and then detail after work at my house. I always detailed, with another job. So I was working all day long. And I finally got to quit my job, earlier this year to pursue this full time. So I'm super happy and thankful that we grew fast enough, and for me to be comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah. So obviously you quit. Go ahead, Kev.
I was just going to say, I want to pick up on something you said and give you a compliment about it. not because you made the statement, I've been doing this for a really long time, 4 or 5 years.
I giggled too.
And I saw
yeah,
great.
I know.
No, but like what I'm complimenting you on is that's a confidence that you have in your ability to do what you're doing, and you're actually showing that, right? Because what we hate hearing whenever I talk to someone, they're like, I've been doing this for 25 years, then pretty much everything they say after is either old school thinking or complete BS. And so for you to be seeking this out and still in your mind think I'm a professional at this, and I'm working towards something better. I just wanted to compliment you on, because I know people will listen to this and be like, what the hell is he talking about? I've been doing this for 87 years, whatever. So
yeah, then they go grab their DeWalt rotary and go ruin a car. That's all.
Hey, one of the best shops in this world to that point, because that was a little jab at people. All right, so one of the best shops in this world, Metropolitan Detail, rotaries every single car, and they're I'd say the most successful detail shop to ever hit the U.S. So don't discount the rotary.
Well, most of the guys I know with rotaries,
young buck, but they're not old. Every single person's our age. There's not one person that's in that shop I think that's over 40 years old. So. Wow. Every single
and I mean we don't need to go off on rotary, but actually there's a lot of guys in the industry that will show you they can get a better, faster finish with a rotary than you'll ever get with DA. So
one man's got one arm.
And I know that wasn't intentionally to like give people a jab, but like that's well, us old guys like me.
Yes.
I don't mean to disrespect. I promise.
It's all right. You're on Facebook all the time. It's
I'll put Mike's personal phone number and email address in the show notes in case you want to reach out to him.
Go ahead, call me. Let me know. I'll talk to you for half an hour.
That's great. Cool. So, leaving your full time, going all in, attributes this $400,000. The location, sure, you got a little bit more space, but that 3x basically is what you did. Is because you went full time. You're not 40-hour a week consistently.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. All right. So let's kind of get to what your goals are. Your goals are $75,000 a month. You want to learn some sales and leadership skills. No problem. Grow to a larger shop, second location. Also can see that already happening. What's the $75,000 mean to you? Why $75,000?
I mean, honestly, like, I didn't have an exact reason for that number. It was just kind of, it sounded really good, and I would feel pretty comfortable, like, man, this month has been our slowest month, right? It's October. It's getting cold here. Nobody wants to get details, right? Every day I wake up and I have stress that I'm like, okay, to make sure we can pay this, make sure we can pay that, make sure all the guys are good. Like, every morning waking up with stress sucks. And I feel like I could at least relax a little bit, and with 75, I can pay somebody else to take one of the jobs off my hands, and be comfortable. And really, I like talking to people, and I like doing sales. But I think where I really want to go is to do our social media. I really like doing video, and I really like doing stuff like that. But for me to be working on every car and also working on all the videos and all the posting we have to do, just to be consistent, and you have to do it because everybody's doing it this day. Everybody that wants to grow has to post on Instagram and do reels and photos and everything, and show the process and not just show shiny cars. Customers want to see what the process is. So that's what we do. I try to show the process on every car that we do, so they can see exactly what it is, the before and after, everything. And that's really what I want to focus on, is going to that. So, the 75 was so I can pay somebody else to take over some jobs.
I want to couple of things before you go again, Grant. Just first of all, let's make that 83,333, because then that's $1 million. So we'll just round that off to, because 75 is $900,000. Might as well push it. But then and then the other thing I wanted to say is that you made the statement that no one wants to clean their cars. That's not true. It's 100% not true. I'm in Montana, and in the middle of January, we can still stay. I don't have a full-time shop, but my buddy who I handed my shop over to, he can stay fully booked in January when it's 40 below zero. Right. So it's just a matter of you have to find the right customers and have the right offering for them. So just kind of A lot of this, there's some mindset stuff that we can talk through, but that's a bit of a mindset ideology around a slow month. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Grant.
Yeah.
And to Kevin's point too, Mike, 90 days ago you had your greatest month ever. The last thing you were thinking about is slow season. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, 3 years into my business, I was in the same position. 6 months in June during your busiest month is when you should be thinking about slow season, because that's the great times where you really don't have to do much. That's where you start preparing, start marketing, start getting everything in place. So when October, November, December through basically April, once that season hits, you're already ahead of the game. You're 6 months ahead, which starts with relationship building too. It takes a long time to build a super solid relationship. You're pretty good at it, right? You're pretty good at it, but you got to start. We start marketing, or we start positioning ourselves for the winter in June. There is
And
no
when you say
slowdown.
positioning yourself for the winter, what do you mean? Because we market all year round, right? And right now we're heavily retargeting. Using Facebook and Google and Instagram retargeting. We're heavily pushing that right now to just try to reach those people.
Yeah.
And we're retargeting our clients, retargeting everybody that engage with our page. The things you're supposed to be doing. And I mean, like, some days we get some leads, some days it's nothing. And our website has been getting a couple leads every single day. So that's been great. The SEO is working and all that.
Is it the same offering as you did in June?
Yeah, same offering.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Okay.
So that's one way
But
to
I
position it.
repackaged it. I reshoot the video and I repackage it, things like that, and I reword things. And so it is the same offer, but it's presented to them in a different way. So I don't just run that same exact ad from June.
Yeah, no,
I do
I'm
switch it
saying
up.
in terms of the same offering, in terms of like the pain points for someone in December versus the pain points for someone in June. If you're going to solve those pain points with your services, are 100% different. So that means the offer, not just the way you present it, has to be different. So,
Okay.
and that's a little bit of a challenge. So
You're not going to buy a beach, or you're not going to market a beach umbrella in Chicago in December for Christmas, right? You're going to be marketing a Canada Goose jacket that's walking down Lake Michigan, and somebody's shivering themselves, right, in the middle of December for Christmas. You're positioning yourself around that. Okay. There's part to be marketing. So, Mike, I'll let you know, I don't spend a goddamn dime on marketing, meaning no PPC, no ads, really behind SEO and a great website. That's all the marketing that we do. Obviously, posting on social too. That's it. So we're able to stay super solid year round without spending a goddamn dime. Okay, and this comes to my next point. It's about the only point that you really need to focus on out of this whole call, is that you need to continue building those relationships. You got to build them with the right people. Because right now your relationship skills are super solid and you're really great at it, and having these conversations are awesome. But from a consumer level, you're going after the consumer, which is awesome, right? But they're bringing one car to you. Take your relationship skills and go and build it on somebody that has 15, 20, 30 cars coming in a month. You get what I'm saying?
I have never met somebody. I lied. My landlord just introduced me to a very, very high up person at Coca-Cola and Nestle. So that's a really good connection I made there. And then, as far as, like you said, marketing to the right people, I mean, I'm really active in the local car group. So like people know me, and whenever I go to car shows, people know who I am. Like they'll go up and they'll talk to me and like, oh yeah, I've seen your ads and this, that, and the other. Like, so I'm building the relationships and doing what I can. But like, I mean,
are these car guys? Are these people that spend money with you at your shop?
Yeah. So we're in a local G80 M3 group. So we've coded probably 10, 15 M3s from that group. So we're really active, and they know us, and they recommend us on the Beamer forums and everything. So they do all they can to push me, and I stay active in their community and talk to them throughout the day and let them know what's up. So I mean, like, I'm doing the right things, but I don't know how to go out and seek those people. I want those car guys to come here. Like today we had a guy with an M5, super big car guy, right? He came by, wanted me to check some things out. I booked him in for just like a maintenance wash because his car has full car PPF and it's coded already, right? So we booked him in for a maintenance wash. We're going to get him in, and then we're going to do his girlfriend's car after that. So it's just something, they know who we are, and they've seen us for a long time. They just finally have the time to come and see us, so we're reaching those people. It's just, I don't know if it's not the right time, or
Nope.
it could just be the message is just wrong. I mean, I just have to work on that.
No, it's not that. You're going towards consumer. You were thinking consumer again.
Yeah, walk us through that, Grant, because
What I'm speaking of is wholesale, right? So dealership accounts like Amazon, who just bought how many Rivians, and that they're now out there on the road, and they get them washed every single week. Okay, wholesale. If it wasn't for our Porsche account, we'd have a 30% decrease every single winter. The minute we got an account where they're still selling 15, 20, 30 cars every single month, selling the services behind them, sending them to you, you get that shit out quick. You get them out in a day. It takes us three to 5 days to do one car. It takes you a half a day. Okay. We spend 20, 30 hours on a car. You spend 6. Okay. You are able to punch these things out. You'd be a Porsche dealership's love that they can charge or spend $750 with you, and they can go and turn it around for $3,000. Okay. So going after really positioning yourself with a wholesale account, which takes time. This is why I say you got to position yourself ahead of time. For the winter, you're not just going to walk into a dealership and get an account off the spot. You're not going to walk into any wholesale, any type of commercial account and get it on the spot. It takes months, if not years. The Porsche account took us almost 3 years to get.
This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is, at Detailer's Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailer's Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation or you need a brand new website, Detailer's Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS.
Okay, but I was vigilant on that Porsche account. Now they produce about $500 to $600 a year for us, right, off one account. That keeps you afloat.
Was that just you constantly going in there and just like saying, "Hey, I'm back again"? Like
it was for a year and a half, and then I was just poking in, and I was stopping in with our clients that were coming here, and our one client actually asked me to go spec a car out with them over there. They have like a room that you go into, and you can totally customize a car. It's really cool. She's like, "You want to come to it?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I went in there, and the salesman Charlie walks in and said, "Hey, Grant, the GM wants to talk to you." I'm like, "What?" The guy, I don't even know the guy. And I walk in and he goes, "Hey, man, you've been taking a lot of our cars that have been coming here. Customers continue to say your name. You do phenomenal work. The current people that we have do not do good work. We know that you're going to be more expensive, but we want to send you every single one of our cars." So I said, "Cool, let's make it happen." So it's transitioned now to where we have 3 people there at the dealership full time, detail every single one of their cars, wash every single one of their cars, prep every single one of their cars that comes in. Then we have a full-time ceramic coating guy here that only does their cars, and a full-time PPF guy that only does their cars. So we have basically 5 full-time guys, which you want to build a team. It's a great way to do it, that we're able to support year-round. That is all around one dealership. Now I might add they have 8 dealerships in total. So now that we've been there for a little over a year and a half, now I'm going to be going after and start picking off the other dealers as well. So eventually in the next, I'd say by 2025, we should have 6 to 8 of their dealers under our roof. You do the math behind it. It's a huge account. Okay. But it's all based off of one thing, which was the relationship, which I can't hone this in more. I know you really want to dial your relationship back, and the way that you talk to these guys, you want to hard sell them and they come in the door and you don't want to have these 30-minute conversations. Bro, that's everything. That is everything. Because guess what? They go to 10 other detail shops. Nobody's spending 30 minutes with them. They're maybe spending 5. What do you want? Here's your price. Do you want to book it? See you later. Okay. The customer relationship that you're building right now, dude, do not let that go ever. If it wasn't for the relationship that we have with all the people, there was no way that we would have gotten that Porsche account. Guaranteed. 0 chance that we would have had it. The idea around it, everyone kept talking about us. It was never about our job. It was about my Mikey, my Claire, my Jim, right? Myself. That's what people were telling the story about to Porsche, where they're like, well, I got to meet these people. And then it got to the point where it's like, fuck, we're losing so much business. We got to bring these people in. And they sell Menard services there. Our name is on every single car. Thank God to the software system that we use too. It's VINed, right? So every car that comes through here, Menard Premium Detailing is on the VIN from day one, before Porsche even touches it. So our name goes on before they even do their PPI. It's pretty exceptional. So these are great ways, and every single wash that comes through the door, our name's on it. It's just a really good way to build a relationship with them. And then obviously from the marketing side of things, you can now market a dealership that you're doing every single one of their cars, Porsche or not. Could be a Toyota Camry, like a Toyota place. I don't care what it is. It could be Honda. It could be Kia. I don't care. Give me any dealer. It's awesome. And then you can market it properly, and people will trust you because of that. Oh, it's Mike's place. Oh yeah, I heard that he does every single Toyota. He does all the Tacomas and 4Runners and Tundras. Right? You see how this is going?
Mm-hmm.
The other side of it though is it gets you through these slower months because they always have cars coming in. They always sell them. You don't have to do anything but install. It's great.
And that's a good example of having the conversations with the right people.
The right people.
These 30-minute conversations, if it's with, somebody that literally is just there because he likes talking about his car and has no intention of ever doing business with you or anybody else, then that's, and those are hard to identify. But
yeah. So let's get into some bullet points here for you moving forward. Cool. Before our next call. Are you good with that, Kevin?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So the main factor here that I'm seeing is that you want to build a $75,000 a month business. We bumped that now to $83,000 a month. That's your goal. The reality is that you peaked out at 67 grand at your location. So there's zero chance of you hitting 75 grand if you peaked. Okay. With what you currently brought in. So there's two ways to look at this. There's one that you need a second location, completely viable. The other side of it is that you just need to charge more, which I would probably go for option number 2. That you need to charge more. You're super low. You can position your pricing to $9.95, $11.95, $14.95, $19.99. You can position yourself in a very nice way. There's actually science behind pricing things that you can read as well and do some research on. So you got to start pricing your things appropriately for the consumer, not for yourself, because you just threw these numbers out there, dude, which is kind of my point number 2. Is that what I want for this next call is for you to know your fucking numbers, bro. Like down to every single offering that you do, you know exactly what it's costing you. Like down to the penny. Okay. Mm-hmm. All the way down to how much is the shop actually costing you? How long is it going to take to pay that back, that 35 grand you just put into the shop? Right? What are some other things you want to do to the shop? Does it make sense to do them or not? Okay, but you really got to know your numbers. So it's going to come down to how can you get to 75 grand, which is going to be your numbers. How can you get to 75 grand there? Taking it from 67 up. What do you want to do within the business, by the way? You said you want to be strictly social media?
At least at this standpoint, that's what I really enjoy. Like working on the cars is cool and it's all fun. But at the end of the day, we're just getting through the job, So that's not the fun part for me anymore. The fun part is recording the video and editing it and seeing how people react and this, that, and the other. And so at this point, that's what I'm into is the social media and the video cool. Stuff like that.
Awesome. So you enjoy, if that was your full-time job, you'd like to do it?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So we do this for every single person on these calls. Kevin went through this process. I go through this process. Barry's gone through this process now. Everyone's gone through this process. It's called the 3-pillar process. I guess I'm coining it as that now, Kev. Might as well put it out there.
I like it. It.
So you're going to write down every single thing that you currently do. I wash cars. I do the payroll. I order PPF and coatings. I call our third parties, our contractors in. I pay rent, whatever it is. Write down everything you do, all the way down to I take the trash out. Okay, I fill up the paper towel holder. Whatever it is that you do, you got to write down everything. Then you're going to build 3 columns up. The first column is going to be I love to do this. This is all I want to do. This is like the perfect position for me. This is what I love to do every bit of the business. This is exactly what I want to do. Okay. The second column is going to be I don't mind doing this, but I don't want to do it forever. But I can do it right now. But eventually I'm going to want to put somebody else in this position. And then the third column, Mike, is fuck you. I don't ever want to touch this shit again. This is the last thing I want to do. I hate doing this. Every time I think about it, it just aggravates me. That's the FU column. That's a fuck this. And they're going to have to beat that a couple more times. Let's say fuck.
For you, is that washing the car, working on the cars?
For me, it's everything. So this is what I love to do. So what I love to do, Mike, now is this. So I go through this about once a quarter. Sometimes it's I used to be like, a little bit longer, but now it's about once a quarter on where I need to position myself within the business. I love doing stuff like this, like we're doing today. This is all I want to do. But this and then customer relations. So I'm more in I go after the big accounts now. So our team really handles the smaller accounts and the consumer side of things. I'm now going after the big commercial accounts, and then expansion.
Grant's the one that gets the other 6 Porsche dealers. That's what he gets off on.
100%. I walked in. I went and got a super nice bottle of scotch, bottle that's nicer than half the bottles I have. I brought it in there, and I was like, "Hey man, like I want the rest." That's literally what I said. I want the rest. He was like, "All right, let's do it." Simple as that. So I wasn't afraid because we have a phenomenal relationship. Okay, that I'm able to walk in there and have that conversation with him now. It's not a business relationship, which Mike, that brings another point. Do not build business relationships with anybody. Mm-hmm. They suck and they don't last. Okay, they're one job change away from that relationship going away. So keep up, and I cannot say this enough to you, dude. Keep up with these personal relationships that you're building. Now we're gonna get smart with that in a second on how you can actually start closing more jobs. Okay. But do not let those 30-minute conversations leave. It's actually a goal of every single person that walks in here to have a 10-minute conversation at minimum with every single person that walks in. Okay, so if you can have a 30-minute conversation, if my team had 30-minute conversations, I'd hire 60 people to be up there to have 30 conversations with every single person. Okay, that is awesome that you're able to do that. So I want you to write all those things down, and then you're gonna have to start hiring a couple of those out. Right now, you have space requirements, so you're gonna have to get smart with it. But maybe bring a person or two in that can actually manage the sales side of things for you. Okay. Number 3 is I'm going to give whoever you hire in the next, when's our next call, Kev? How far out do we push these things?
I mean, we're probably 45, 60. We haven't really 100%, but yeah, cool. A couple of months. We'll call it a couple of months.
So Mike, you got 2 months. Okay. In the next 30 days, I want you to hire somebody. I'm going to give them free sales trainings for you. I'll do all of it for you. Okay. So I'll have them jump on Zooms with me, and I'll give them 3 hour-long sessions for free. That is all about sales. Okay, we're gonna get your sale. But what I want you to teach them is how to have those conversations with them. Here's my RS5. I have an S4. Okay, how do we build a 30-minute conversation around that? That's super impactful. Okay, because again, it's all about the storyline. But you're gonna really need to build that. Do you want to learn any sales at all in the meantime?
I definitely do like sales. I mean, I have the perfect person in mind, but it's a family member, and working with family, like 90% of the time, usually ends up bad. So, he's also not a car person. So, like,
I don't agree.
Usually, I would rather have a car person in my shop than a guy who just needs a job or like something like that.
I'm gonna give you 3 1-hour session on mindset and self-talk.
Yeah.
Because
I need it. Believe me, I need it.
You're talking yourself down, bro.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest influences, Mike?
Honestly, off the top of my head, I really don't have any, like, anybody that I look up to. Like, nobody in my personal life is like that. You know, I mean, my oldest brother Ryan, who I used to work for, he started a business at 16, so he's kind of like a mentor to me. But like, the business he's in is a completely different business than I'm in. So like, yeah, I can ask him about things here and there, but like, also sometimes I kind of figure out he doesn't know what he's doing either. So like, he's twice my age and he's still figuring it out. So I mean, I really don't have somebody in my life that's like, I look up to this guy, I'm close to him, this, that, and the other.
What was your upbringing like?
Fine. I mean, I have 3 brothers and a sister. They're half siblings because they have a different dad than me. But that never affected us at all. We're always pretty close. I mean, I'm not super close with my siblings, but you know, we're fine. Like, you know, I'll text them, we'll talk and everything like that. But we're not like super close. I was closer with them when I was working with them and obviously seeing them every day, so it's a little bit different. But now I only see them a couple times a year.
Okay. To that point, I disagree with not being able to hire family. My brother and my sister work with me, and it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. You could set boundaries though. So if you want to hire, if you think is it your brother you said that you would hire?
No, my cousin.
Your cousin,
actually.
Cool. So if it's your cousin, as long as you set boundaries there, that you both will absolutely love it. Potentially, and if it doesn't work out, here's the thing: you got to treat them like everybody else.
Right.
Okay. But you also have to treat yourself like everybody else too, which gets to leadership skills here. You have to have the same respect for yourself that you have for your team at all times. You're never above them under any means. You don't have the ability to talk down on them. You don't have the ability to talk to them kind of like what Kevin's getting at here, like you're talking to yourself. Okay, you have to treat them with the highest respect, like they are part of the team, because without them, there is nothing, as you can kind of see here. Okay, without that team that's out there, there is no shop anymore. Okay, it's just you again. You have to treat them with pure utmost respect at all times. You're on the same level as them. Mike is on the same step as me all the way, always. You have the same respect for yourself. You're paid just like they are. You take a paycheck out just like they get. So at any time, if you need to be ridiculed or you need to be brought into the office and you need to be talked to yourself, you have to have that respect for yourself to do that. Okay, at the same right, if you did an exceptional job and you crushed it and you killed it, you got a huge contract that's now going to push you guys to the winner. Well, guess what? You got to be celebrated. Same respect goes for your team. The only reason I have a great team here is because every single person I treat them like family, and they do the same to me. I'm not a boss. I'm barely even an owner of this place. Okay, I'm barely even here now because they do such a great job. Okay, but you got to build a family. That's the easiest thing to leadership, is just treating them better than you treat yourself. Way better than you treat yourself. And if you can do that, you're going to have a great team that's going to believe in you and it's going to want to be part of it forever, no matter what they get paid. Pay is not everything. I know you pay your team really well. Pay is not everything. Family is, though. You could agree to that. Okay. So for leadership, I really want you maybe to jump on with Kevin too. And let's get some leadership and some self-discipline and some self-talk. Because, dude, you've been talking yourself down, and you should be talking yourself up this whole time. You are doing so freaking well, it's not even funny. And you should be giving yourself a major hug for that and a major pat in the back, and you should be celebrating it every single day. The reality is, Mike, you really don't need us much. You really don't. Like, you have almost all your shit together here. The only thing that's missing is you, bro.
I'll just point out that when I met with Grant the first time, he did not tell me that I already had all my shit together. Just so.
And I don't either. Hey,
Listen, I definitely don't. I don't think I have all my shit together. I'm still learning every day. That's why I do what I can, and
which is part of having it together. That's part of having it together. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Mike, there's
I do treat my guys very well. Like, even we got a whiteboard that we just put up the other day, and cracking a bunch of jokes on there. And one of the lines one of the guys wrote was like, if you forget Mike's the boss, he'll let you know. Like, joking around, because I'm always like messing with him. I'm like, I pay you. Don't worry about it. I know where your paycheck comes from. You'll keep this up. Like, I'm just razzing him, messing around with him, and we all laugh and have a great time. So, I mean, like, we're just friends that happen to work together. Like, the guy that is my head guy, Adam, I've known him for 4 or 5 years. Like, I've known him for a long time. So we're just really good friends, and we're able to work together really, really well. But I don't know. I try to be as nice to everybody as I can. That's if you look at our Google reviews, the main tag that you can search by stuff. The main tag is like customer service, right? That's like one of the highest ones. Everybody always writes about our customer service because I just treat people nice. That's the only thing you have to do to have like a pretty successful business. Like, as long as you have people coming through your door and you're nice to them, then you're good. If you don't have people coming through your door, then you can't be nice to them, obviously. But I mean, just treat everybody like a person, and you should be okay.
100%, man. You get that spot on. That's for sure. And like I said, you're doing a great job. You know this already. And you might not, 100%. But now you do. Okay, so
man, this month has been like, because I was looking back at the other months, and like every day I wake up and I look at like the schedule, and I'm like, man, the schedule's empty. Like, we're filling up slowly here and there. Like, I'm sending out some email and text blasts to our customers to get them in before, for maintenance washes and things like that, just to at least have a couple bucks in our bank. But waking up every day and like immediate anxiety and stress sucks. Like, it's not fun at all.
So if you follow that 3-tier system there, Mike, right now the sales is your responsibility. The minute you pass it on to somebody else, if you decide to do that, it becomes their responsibility, and now you just manage that responsibility for them. So the stress that you have right now is because you always hear the saying, you're wearing 65 hats. It's because you literally hired yourself to do so many freaking jobs here. Like, you want to walk out and wash a Tesla. What the fuck, dude? What $60,000 a year guy is washing Teslas? Okay, versus if I'm in the situation. So I'm gonna give you a little mindset here. You're in a situation where you have only like barely any jobs coming in. the last thing you should be doing is going and hiding behind that wash and hiding behind that Tesla. Because that's what you're doing. When you're walking out there and spending that 20 or 45 minutes that you're doing to prep that car, that's 45 minutes lost an opportunity to get somebody else in that door. And it's just hiding. All you're doing is you're just hiding behind that car. Dude, so many people do it. I did it. Okay? It's totally normal until somebody called me out for it and said, why the fuck are you hiding? Your business could be so much better if you'd spend that 45 minutes on actually calling clients. Like, do you have a follow-up process for these people?
Yeah, so most of the follow-up is done automatically through Orbis, and I'll call people and have conversations with them. But like my follow-up process is dialed. So I'll take you through the process, right?
Let's hear it.
Most of our
let's see how dialed this is.
Yeah. Well, all right. So most of our leads are from Facebook and Instagram, right? So we use that. It goes through Zapier, goes to Orbis. Instantly, they get a message. Hey, this is who we are. This is who I am. I say, hey, this is me. I'm the one who's going to be taking care of you. And then it sends a photo of me working on a car, so they know who I am. And like, they can connect me from the video to that picture, right? Cool. And then an hour later, they get another message saying, hey, here's our reviews. If you haven't had a chance to see them, boom. By the next day, I'll make sure an estimate is sent out. Before we open, I try to do all of our estimates, send those all out. And then 2 days later, they get a follow-up. 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks out, they get follow-ups each time. And then I tag them, whether they respond, whether they answer a phone call, things like that. So we're pretty on them about trying to make a decision, for as far as leads. So we try to warm them up pretty well. But Facebook leads are very, very low quality, and around the board, it seems like close rates are about 10 to 15% for those people. So they're not the right people.
Dude, that's better than most people get. You're looking usually 7 or 8 or less. That's, so, I mean, if you're pulling 10%, should I sick Grant on the automation process? I'll tell you to buckle up a little bit, Michael, because he's going to tell you exactly what I would probably tell you too. So go ahead.
No, Kev, you tell him, and I'll follow it up.
I mean, at what point? So they're getting 12 automated messages, basically.
So that is just like a follow up that if I don't send them a message, right? But I've seen stats and it's kind of proven that people need to see you 7 to 10 times before they take action, right? So I want to make sure they are taking action to make sure we're always on their mind. If they submitted 2 weeks ago and they just been busy and they forgot, and then I send them a message and I'm sorry, I've been busy. Let's get on the schedule. I always try to stay on top of their mind, and we're constantly retargeting them, so we're constantly reaching those people.
Well, let me say that
it's a pretty good thing.
Let me say this. First of all, I am the sales funnel king. I do sales funnels all the freaking time. Like that's a major part of all of my brands and all of my businesses. So I get that part. Here's the disconnect as I see it, and Grant can comment on this. The thing that you're absolutely best at is talking to customers. The thing you're absolutely not doing is talking to customers right away. So like all the automation in the world that you've got going on is great. Like that's the touches, but there's a missing link of the most important touch that they could get from you in particular, right? Is that what you're going to say, Grant?
100%. Could not agree more. Your follow-up is shit. The computer's doing it for you, Mike. And
it's all done. It's all typed out by me. It's all still has my touch.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Mike, it does not matter. If a business is going to email you 12 times, are you going to move forward with them?
Yeah, I know.
Fuck no.
I know. I provide them good information at least, and I'm showing them cool shit. But,
no one reads it. No one reads it. No one cares. Like no one gives a fuck. I'm sorry for having to bleep this as much out, Kevin, but no one cares. Dude, no one cares. I'll be the first person. And guess what? Your close rates are not 10%. I bet you they're closer to 1.7%. Okay, it is absolute shit. Normal. Okay, Mike, it's completely normal. Okay, but we're going to do some things here.
And that doesn't
not a bad thing.
Do away with it.
No,
that just means there's a human component, which ironically, if you take someone that is horrible at the face-to-face and relationship building stuff, then that's like their only option, right?
Yes.
Like we have to teach them. You basically have this gold mine, resource, and you're not using it. You're
You're
and
confusing them. They're getting completely confused because they're having a super personal relationship with you, and then you put them into a funnel. So then they're confused. Wait, I just had a great conversation with Mike. Everything I read online was all about the communication that Mike has with me and how he's just super passionate about what he does. And then it's like, now a computer's talking to me. Now I'm all AI'd and I'm doing this Facebook stuff and I'm getting all these messages and these emails that are automated because I send an email at 9:01 p.m. and now at 9:01 p.m. for the next 12 days, I'm getting an email at the same time every day when I'm laying in bed. Okay, it becomes automated. No one likes automation. Automation is just shit. When you call in to go to an 800 number and it turns to a computer, and what are you clicking? 0000000000000 until it finally it's like, oh, okay, this person just wants to talk to somebody. Okay, nobody wants to talk to a computer. Don't stop doing that. Don't make that your follow-up. Your follow-up has to be you or somebody, a salesperson, or just somebody that's super kind and super, that is willing to not be afraid to call them. But Mike, you have to follow up. So here's a follow-up process. I implement this to everybody, including here. Your follow-up process is if you talk to the person before 2 p.m. that day, you follow up with them that night, the next day, that night, 1 day for a week, every day for a week, business days, 1 week for a month, and then 1 month forever. So go over that. So if you talk to them before 2 p.m., you call them that night. If you talk to them after 2 p.m., you call them the next day. Then you call them every single day for a week, 1 day or once a week for a month, once a month forever. Okay. So in that first month, you're going to have 11 touch points with them. Fuck your 12 emails. That's not going to do shit. Okay. Let's have 12 human touch points. And it's simple. Hey, this is Mike calling. Just want to check in, see if you have any other questions. Happy to answer them for you. Have a great day. They pick up. Hey, it's Mike. Just wanted to call, chat about our conversation we had yesterday. See if you have any other questions for me. Happy to answer them. No? All right, cool. Call you tomorrow. Hang up. Okay, that's a lot better than an email sending stuff out and educating them. You already educated them. You talked to them for 30 minutes. Okay, you already educated them. Okay,
They already know the whole spiel.
Yeah, they're no whole spiel. And to hit them on both rights, Mike, is not a bad thing. Okay, but you're missing the personal touch. You have the computer that's doing it for you, which is great, dude. Automation's awesome from that front, but people don't want to be automated. Okay, that's the reality of it. We all hate our cell phones. Let's be honest. What person on here likes having their cell phone? Not one of us.
Before I ran this business, I was a lot more. I like my phone a lot more.
Yeah.
But now, not so much.
It's horrible. I hate it. I hate even looking at my cell phone. I hate it. Okay. So no one wants to be trapped by that too with the business. If someone in the $750 they're charging, you're going to up that. You're going to be probably in the $995, $1195, $1395. Hopefully by the next time we talk. Once you get up to that mark, you got to build $1,000 relationship with them. $1,000 isn't built over a computer, man. It's built in person. Okay. You're going to get to a point too in the 2 years from now where you're charging I know it sounds nuts, but $4,000 to $5,000 a car. And people are happy to pay you for it. Why? Because they're paying you. They're not paying a damn computer. Okay. The computer helps. It's definitely support. Not discounting that under any means. But I didn't build a $2 million business off a computer. Okay. We built it off of relationships. And we did it in the same amount of time that you're in business right now. Okay. And it's solely based off relationships. I speak about this every single week. I cannot, and you have the ability to do it, Mike. That's what's so awesome. That's what Kevin said. You have every single ability to do this. You just got to do it. Okay. So we want to implement that. We want you to implement a follow-up, a personal follow-up with the personnel. Okay. Within 24 hours, you better hit them. Every single one. Mm-hmm. You better hit them. Okay.
And one thing I want to say on that too is that the method and the process by which you're acquiring and nurturing customers will also change the types of customers that you're getting. Mm-hmm. Right. Like, people that, like, if I'm trying to sell something that costs $47, right? Like I can send them a bunch of emails and upsells and all this other stuff, which is great. That works great for that customer. I don't need to have a personal relationship with them. If I want to sell them a $1,500 coating though, or a $2,000 course or whatever it is through these funnels, I need to have an exploratory call, quote unquote, with that person, right? Because that's the type of customer I want to be able to sell to. Same thing for you. You don't really want to attract the kind of customers that are most attracted by automation, email funnels, all that for your business. So I think that what you'll find is that the quality of customer that you're going to get by following more of a personal approach is going to be way up.
100%. Yeah, it's a great point, Kevin. So, Mike, you got a lot of great things. Like we said, you got a lot of great things going for you. So we're gonna go back over. You're gonna figure out your numbers first. Every single product and service that you offer, we want to figure out what are your true margins. Okay, because your margins are definitely skewed based off of here, especially if your labor cost is only $6,000. You'd be closer to $7,000.
I think I typed in a one on accident and didn't double
That's
check.
fine.
That's all good. That's all
fine.
good.
Not a big deal, dude. So that's the thing, though. So your margins on here are looking like they're 70, but in reality, it's much lower. Not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing to run lower margins. Okay, that just means we just got to boost revenue. There's very simple solutions to a lot of this stuff. I know it sounds like it's tough. It's really not. It's a very simple solution. So we just got to build obviously, if your margins can't rise, then we just got to build your revenue. Okay, simple as that. So we're going to really want to get your numbers dialed in. And then what I want you to do after your numbers are dialed is, okay, what's it going to take to hit $75,000 in 1 month? Just 1 month during June. How do we hit that 75 grand in June? And here's how it's broken out. Here's how much paint protection film we have to do. Here's how much ceramic coating we have to do. Here's how many details we have to do. Do you do window tint too?
Not yet, but I just sent my guy to training for window tint. So I want to give him some French cars and just some cheap jobs so we can get more experience before I handle it to customers.
Awesome. So how's that 75 grand broken down, and then how do we take that 75 grand and now move it to 83,333? .3333367.
It's only a couple of more dollars per job. That's all it is.
It is.
Yep.
And Mike, here's a really easy way to look at this. I call it the cost per job. What's the average cost per car that's coming through your door? Is you take your revenue divided by the amount of cars that came in that month. So do you have that? Do you have those numbers by any chance of that 67 grand?
Off the top of my head, I don't. I think I can check in Orbis and find the rundown. But like I said, we were doing two cars a day, just average 2 cars a day. Say that. So it's 40 cars a month for June.
So you did 6,000, 7,000. What do you think your average cost per car is then?
Like cost to install, probably. Like I said, it's about $300 or so.
Revenue wise,
average ticket is $1,000.
$1,675. That's your average cost. Every customer is worth almost $1,700 to you for that month. Okay,
if it's 40 into 67.
If it's 40 into 67, yeah, and that's just coatings, right? There's a lot more that's involved there. You could have washes, PPF, other services that you're offering to.
Yeah.
So we really want to get an idea. What's a $10 service? What's a $10,000 service? Equal amount, and that's the number you should really focus on how you can build it. Because if you could take it from a 1675, let me see. You need to charge an extra $200 a car, which is kind of where I was at, right? Then I say $995.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
$995.
So if you charge an extra $200 a car, you're at 75 grand. And guess what? Nobody's going to balk to that. And the more you charge, the better qualified people you're going to get.
Yeah. So check this out. When I originally started out of my home garage, I was charging $600 for a wash, clay, one step, and a coat, just so I had some job, just so I can get something, in the shop and get some reviews growing. Now we have over 250 reviews, but like, I don't know. We're like on par with all the other shops around as far as reviews and everything like that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right. Right. But I mean, we're average. We're competitively priced. We're around here, a bunch of Teslas, obviously, right? And we get a bunch of Model Ys, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, this guy's going to charge me $500." And I said, "Awesome, that guy can do your $500 job. If you want to come here for a $1,000 job and have it done right, I'm more than happy to do it for you." But like,
yeah, but that's not the right
calls
approach.
I get.
Okay. It's not the right approach either, right? To customers, you can't talk down to other shops. You got to promote the other shops. That's awesome that they can do it for $500. That's great. I love that. Who's doing it? Oh, 500. Oh, that's awesome. He does a great job. Obviously, we're a little bit more. We have a super qualified team that's here. But if it's $500, I mean, hey, go ahead, go get it done.
Sounds like a great deal for quality service. Go ahead. Great.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
$500. That's awesome. So you can get to this really easily too with a sales process, which I'm going to go over. I'm not going to do on this because it takes a little bit, but we're going to go over with whoever it is. Might it be you or somebody that you're going to hire before our next call to really start honing them in on the sales process. For your sales, though, what I want you to do, Mike, is I want you to understand the customer and for them to have a full conversation with you about what they need done to their car, what bothers them about their car, what are they going to be using their car for, what do they love about their car, why did they call you, what services are they inquiring about. Okay, this is moving forward. Once you have all this information with them, you take all their information down in OrbisX or whatever system that you utilize, and then you're going to get them scheduled. And say, okay, would you like to be scheduled for this? And then you start talking to them after they're scheduled. Then you can spend the other 20 minutes with them talking to them about why your RS5 or why their RS5 is shittier than your manual S4. Okay, that's where you can jump into that conversation. Don't do it beforehand. Okay, qualified leads, qualified person that's booked or at least has a proposal in their hands. Then you can jump in and spend the next 20 minutes with them discussing cars. Okay, I'm not saying you don't have to beforehand because that's obviously important too, but for this right now, we're going to blitz this where it's going to be the total flip. We're going to get them dialed. Here's what we do. Here's what you want. It's still 10, 15 minutes, man. And then you can progress after that. Once you built the trust with them, then you can progress over to talk to them about their car for the next half hour.
I do. Okay. I have a couple questions. First of all, I assume you listen to Grant's podcast episode. If you haven't, go grab that because he walks through that. So go re-listen to it because it was awesome. Great information. Secondly, when you describe ceramic coatings to your customers, are you telling them the brands? Or are you just saying ceramic coating?
If they ask, I'll inform them a little bit more, but I'm not selling this coating. I'm selling the service. Okay.
And I'm not going to talk badly about any brands, but even the very top tier, super brands, I don't usually tell people what brand it is. We use a multitude of brands, and Grant, you can speak to this too.
Yeah.
But there are certain brands that just their overall brand image may not fit certain price points. Right. So that there's, you have to keep that in mind in terms of when that information does get in front of the customer, what it looks like. And I'm not bad mouthing Underdog coatings. Like I don't really know that coating in particular, but just be aware of if you want to hit these big price points, the brand name that you're actually pushing does have to represent that price point, just like your own brand.
Yeah, to a degree, 100%. Mike, do you sell years? Is that how you kind of position it? This is a 5-year coating. This is a 7-year coating.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I sell Pro as the 5-year coating, and I'm like, hey, listen, if you want the best stuff that we have Pro Plus. It's rated for 10 years. It's the slickest, glossiest stuff that we have in our shop. If you really want your car to look as best as it can, that's the coating you want. And like, if someone's a car guy, they're going to want that car. They're going to want that coating. I upsold the Model Y that the guys are coating with Pro Plus for an extra $400, just because I'm like, hey, listen, the car sits outside. It's going to get, the sun's going to hit a little bit more. If you want to take care of it, you're going to keep it for a while. Just get the 10-year coating. It's only a couple $100 more. It's really worth it. And it's going to look a lot better throughout the years.
And what happens in 3 years when it looks like shit?
If the customers take care of it, it still looks good. I mean, like,
what if they don't?
Then, I mean, we recommend they come back for a maintenance wash every 6 to 12 months. And if they do that, then we'll keep the coating looking good. We're gonna wash it, decon it, top it off, and make sure that the car still looks awesome. If they go through that process and keep coming back to us, like that we recommend, I think the coating should handle just fine. We used to use other coatings. I'm not really a fan of them. I mean, I don't want to like badmouth any brands specifically, but like I've tried other stuff, and this is just the stuff that we landed on that I like the most.
Yeah, but Mike, you recommended it to me that my car gets the stuff done. You didn't require it, and you said it was going to last 10 years. So why does my car look like shit?
So in our sales process, we do say, hey, we have a valid 5 or 10-year warranty, depending on which coating you go with, as long as you come back to us every 6 to 12 months to keep that coating looking healthy.
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is it's still going to look like shit even if it comes back 6 to 12 months, okay? Let's be honest. We can all agree to that, okay?
Yeah.
Mike, you never have to sell years ever again. I'll teach you guys that. Years is what people get trapped behind. It is not what sells the job. It is how you position each offering to be like our level 1s. We're going to polish your car and just do the paint with the entry level coating. Our level 2s, we're going to do the face of your wheels. We're going to do your windshield. We're going to do 2-step on your paint and ceramic coat your paint. Our level 3, we're going to pull your wheels. We're going to do your wheels, your calipers, all your paint, all your glass, detail your interior, and wipe down your engine bay. It's $500 each increment. Which one do you want?
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, customers know, just like the three of us know, that those numbers are BS.
They're
like,
BS.
I don't care what, because Those are lab numbers, which is fine. Like, I actually used to work for a major coating company, right? So I'm not going to badmouth coating companies.
I still
what I'm
do.
saying is that I'm saying that they don't make sense to customers because they can't. There's no reason to sell around it.
Yeah. So you don't need to, Mike, the cool part is you don't need to get into, like, if you're discussing this during your sales process, you're going too far, bro. Like, way too far. Okay. So your whole ideal with this is the customer, when in the sales process, the customer is walking into the door to interview you, to make sure that you're the right shop for them. Flip the script and interview them. You ask all the questions. You get a whole idea on what are their wants and needs. And once you have that, then you provide them with, here's our services that we can offer to you. They're going to knock out every single want and need and potentially be within your budgetary needs. My guy Mike took a person this week from a $299 coding to a $13,000 job. Okay, because there were wants and needs. It wasn't about budget. Had nothing to do with it. Okay, it's because he asked the questions. The person came in for a detail that would have not done anything for them. So he flipped the script. He was asking all the questions, which by the end of it, he then positioned himself around, here's all your needs, here's your wants. We have the offerings to do it. It's not going to be $300, but we can help you out. But it's, and that's what they said on full body film, ceramic tint, paint the calipers, ceramic coat it. Okay, so that's what they fell into. And it was great. You want to know why? Because the customer is never going to question it. They will never question it because we found out what their wants and needs were. And we provided them with a service that's going to knock out every single one of them. They would have been dissatisfied with a detail, completely dissatisfied. Okay, but the difference is that they talked to Mike, and Mike was able to bring him up that ladder and have a really important conversation. He didn't hard sell him. He didn't say, this is what you need, this is all the way that we do this. You got to move forward with this. No, it was completely positioned on what their needs were, and they just didn't know it. Okay, so flip the script when somebody walks in the door. They're going to try to interview you. We'll do a little bit of, but if you can interview them, that's where you're going to have massive impact on your sales because you're never going to have to sell, ever. We don't sell here. Never have, never will.
When you interview them, what are some of the questions that you would ask them? When you're going through your sales process, what are the main questions you would ask them?
All right, we can jump into it. So there's basically about 7, but the first question is, how did you hear about us? Hey, before we jump into going over anything, just really curious, how did you hear about us? It's exactly what we say. How do you hear about us? The reason we say that is whether a referral, they come off Facebook, Instagram, Google. If they came off Google, what were you Googling? If they came off Instagram and Facebook, what post was it? What car? About it. These are secondary questions to it. If it was referred, oh, cool. Who were you referred by? Okay. If the referral, oh, nice. Oh, Kevin Davis. Oh, yeah. He got his Jeep ceramic coated by us a couple months ago, right? You know their name by heart because you have relationships with them. It's really easy when you have relationships because they're friends. They're not, again, they're outside of a commercial relationship. Their actual personal relationship. Okay. Oh, yeah. Kevin got his Jeep done. Do you have a Jeep as well? Right. But that first question is, how did you hear about us? That's going to build, some great questions. If they find you in Google, oh, great. Did you make it? What were you Googling? I was Googling detailing. I was Googling window tint. I was Googling paint protection film. I was Googling ceramic coating. Nice. How did you fall on us? Did you check out our website? The next great question you should ask every single person is, have you been on our website and seen our packages that we offer? All right. Do you offer your packages on your website, Mike?
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Is there pricing next to it?
Everything's right there.
Even better. Cool. So do you see the packages that we offer and see our, yeah. Oh yeah, I did. I saw your ceramic coating packages. Oh, awesome. What kind of questions do you have? Okay. Well, I was wondering, what the difference is between the three. Let me get into that real quick for you. But before we do that, let's talk about your car. The next question is your make model, color. The reason I say color is because whatever fucking color they say, Mike, you say, oh, I love that color. Favorite color.
Man.
And the person's going to be like, oh my God, me too. I waited 6 years for this color to come out as, off a Porsche color in 1972 and blah, blah, blah.
So I took detail-wise training with Chicago Auto Pros, right? And one of the main things they said during their sales training was, hey, you always got to compliment their car, right? Oh man, you got a Mustang. I love Mustangs too. Oh man, I love that. I love the red color on your Camaro. And then my favorite one was, it's a Prius. It's the best compliment you can give a Prius.
Hey, Mike, I wonder where they got that from. Okay. Honest and I are good buddies. Okay. We've talked about this 100 times. Okay. The follow-up to this, though, is when they say, oh, I hate this color, be like, oh, my God, I hate that color, too. I just didn't want to say it to you. Okay. That's going to build friendship right away. They're going to be like, oh, my God, I don't want this yellow. It's disgusting. Be like, cool, we can wrap it.
Yeah, let's
Wrap
wrap
that
it. We
in.
got a color.
Whatever.
We'll do it. We'll do a color change wrap. That'll be $14,000.
Exactly. So now that you found out about their car, next is what do they use it for? Is it a daily driver or a weekend driver? Is it a commuter? Do they bring their kids in it or not? How long do they intend to keep it for? Is really important as well. As we can get into paint protection film and ceramic coating. Then the next question is what package you're going to position them in. Hey, I'm looking to sell it. I'm actually looking to sell this car. Okay, perfect. Let's just get this one ready. So you're going to be buying a new car. Why don't we get that in for coating and PPF? If it's a weekend car, oh, awesome. Do you take it to shows? Do you just drive it, down the side roads? Do you take it on the highway or back roads? Oh, highway. Oh my God. Rocks get flung up all the time. Back roads. Oh my God. Rocks get flung up all the time. See where I'm going here? So, is it a daily commuter? Cool. How many miles do you do? Do you drink coffee inside of it? Food? Do you eat inside of it? Right. So you're asking all these really important questions. Okay. And then you start positioning yourself. So, all right. So once they give you all this information, Mike, then you can. Oh, I'm here.
Uh-oh.
There
Sorry.
he goes again.
I'm back.
There you go. Cool.
So once you get all this information, then you can start positioning your story, and it's all about storytelling at the end. Hey, here's everything you told me. You got a Ford Mustang. It's 2020. It's black. You like to use it during the weekend. On the weekends, you go on the highway, and you also commute in it. You take it on back roads too on those weekend drives with your wife, and you love putting the top down. It's awesome. Really, really appreciate you sharing that story with me. So there's a couple things that we offer to you. One thing you also told me that when I asked, another great question is what bothers you about the vehicle? Like you're here today, what's bothering you about the vehicle? Or what bothers you about your car? You told me you don't want rock chips. You told me that, it takes you forever to clean these wheels and that the interior gets trashed because when sometimes you keep the top down too long and leaves fall inside of it. Right? So what we offer is a couple different things, but the main thing that 9 out of 10 of our clients go with is something called paint protection film and ceramic coating. It's a great combination that's going to protect all your needs. It's going to stop the rock chips on the front, down the rockers, behind the rear tire. We're going to go around your windshield as well. We also offer for the full body, but instead of doing that based off of the budgetary needs, I recommend our that package with our level 3 ceramic coat, which 9 out of 10 of our clients go with.
Do you explicitly ask them for a budget, or
you can? So it depends. If you feel that it depends, you're going to get a really good idea of who they are, so you can get a really good grasp on is this something I should offer. Now we just had a $22,000 Focus come in that the dude ended up spending $5,600 on it. Okay, because it was really important to him that he wanted to protect the paint. Truthfully, we tried talking him out of it. Okay, again, we weren't trying to talk him into it. We were trying to talk him out of it. Say, man, this is a $20,000 car. You don't need to spend this kind of money. Didn't matter to him. He wanted peace of mind. He was a peace of mind kind of guy. He's super neurotic. So we knew right away the minute that this stuff was on, he was going to be able to have a blast with it. Okay. But you can ask him. So if it gets to a point where you're seeing that a lot of clients are like, oh my God, that's way too much, or oh, there's no way I can afford this. Like you should be throwing the number at them first. And if it's like 7 out of 10 of your clients are like, oh, that's way too much. Okay. That's where you should say, okay, I'm probably going to need to flip my sales script to say, hey, before I jump into these packages that we offer, did you check out our website to see the packages? If they did, if they said yes to that, Mike, that already shows that they know what your prices are. You don't need to go and find out their budget. If the answer is no, then say, okay, hey, before I jump into these packages, we have packages that go from $300 all the way up to $30,000, right? So I don't want to hit you with a $30,000 package, but where do you need to be? And typically they're going to say, between like $3,000 to $5,000. Happens every time. Do we offer $30,000 packages? We do. How many have we done? 1. Okay. But instead of going, we offer between $300 to $3,000 packages, the person's going to set at $1,000 every single time. So what you're doing is they don't want to go for the most expensive. They don't want to go for the middle, but it seems like a deal. If you offer, oh my God, these people offer $30,000 packages. Sure do. Oh, but I only need to spend $5,000. Oh my God, that's great. Seems like a deal. And it is. But they're also getting what they want. Okay. So we offer $300 packages all the way up to $30,000. Where do you need to be at? What's a comfortable area for you to be in? I have $800 to spend. Okay, cool. Let's build something around the $800. That's going to work for you. There's some things that we won't be able to do. Okay, we're not going to be able to stop the rock chips. What we can do is we can polish your car and make it look great for you. Right? We're not obviously with budgetary needs. We're not going to be able to do everything. If you want to step it up to the next level, it's going to cost you about $2,500. You know what? I think I could do that. Let's make it happen. Or even better, Mike, what happens is they'll book it and then you follow up with them, and you follow up with them the day before they come in. Hey, just wanted to confirm that you're in for your $850 polish tomorrow. I know we talked about it at the time, about 3 weeks ago, that you were considering getting ceramic coat. I just wanted to see if you have any more questions about that. what they're going to say, probably 3, maybe 2 out of 3 of the 10 times is, you know what, I was thinking about it. Just go ahead and do it. Okay, but if you don't ask, you're not going to get anything out of it. Okay, so that's basically, they give you that was a very quick entry level into it. Okay, find out where they came from, find out about their car, how do they use it, have they seen everything that you guys offer, yes or no, move forward with the storytell. It's called the heaven to hell method. You take them to hell. If you don't get this done, your car's going to be chipped up, it's going to be scratched, it's going to look like shit in 3 years. If you get this done, your coating's going to look like shit in 3 years, but your PPF is going to look great, and you're not going to have rock chips, and the originality of your car is going to be there. Okay, get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. So just build, but don't stop building relationships, Mike. That's all I can say. So I know that was a lot. I apologize for talking so much there.
No, that was good. I mean, honestly, like I needed that. Like I always heard people say this, but like nobody ever explains their process. So like getting to see kind of a behind the scenes view of a process is good. You know, to see a successful detail shop and see how they actually run, you know, how their sales process is a really, really mind opening, you know, eye opening thing for my business, and especially for anybody listening, you know, that wants to grow their business.
Yeah, and Mike, it'll be specific to you too. So when
it comes to sales, you are in the presence of greatness with this gentleman below who just explained that. He's one of the best that I've ever seen. So
thanks, guys.
Yeah, number 2 was the pillars, right? That was when you got know your numbers, and then you want to go through the pillars.
Yep.
And so we don't need to re-explain that. What was the third one that we were talking about?
Add to your sales processes. So don't stop with the 12 points on email, but you're going to have to add in a follow-up process for that, which is, you know, before 2 o'clock, call them the same day. After 2 o'clock, call them the next day. Call them every day for a week, once a week for a month, once a month for a year. Forever, basically. I won't say for a year, it's forever.
That's why I got to hire somebody, because like I said earlier, I had to go step out and wash a Tesla. So I unfortunately.
No, you chose to do that. You didn't have to, Mike. You chose to do that. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So your choices is what's going to move you forward here.
The reason I chose to do that is like I want to work with the team. I want to go have fun and go talk to them and you know, mess with them around and do all of that. And I don't know. It was the quickest thing that came to my mind. Let's go finish that car and get it prepped up before I have to come down here.
If you told those same team members that you're going to increase their pay by 20% next year, or give them a $10,000 Christmas bonus because you guys crushed your numbers, do you think they would like that better than you washing the car? That's also team building. That's also team building is enriching their lives. And I'm not saying that you need to sit behind your, you know, in the glass house or whatever, looking out, you know, in your office, but you know, just wrap your mind around some of those different ways of looking at some of those things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't say more to that. Like, people understand that I'm not here every single. I spend about 3 hours a week at the shop. Okay, people understand because it's not like I'm not working. It's just I can't be here every single day like I used to be. And guess what? They approve it. There are certain times that they'll tell me, "Hey, man, you need to be here. We need you. Like, we got to figure some shit out." And I will 100% drop everything when I'm asked. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we all have mutual respect. Again, it goes back to it that my job is no longer washing Teslas. My job is no longer polishing cars. My job is no longer making sales calls. My job is no longer doing payroll. My only job is to go out there and get some massive accounts. It's my only job now. It's all I do now.
You know what's great is that everything that Grant does on a weekly basis falls in the first column.
Yep. I love this shit.
That's a goal for me too. Honestly, I'm not that far away from where you are in your business in terms of like the stuff. I mean, I tell this all the time. I have my detailer's helper business card literally said, and this is the dumbest thing ever, Chief Do Everything Guy. Yeah. That's what my title was, and that is the most moronic thing and mindset that I put on myself for that business.
Let's go,
Grant has beaten me about that lately, but I've been beating myself up about that for the last 5 years. And so like that's a tendency, and you're 24, 25 years old, dude. That's part of that is a maturity thing. Like there's some of this thing that you're way ahead of the game. And some of this just comes with age and experience. I mean, it just, you know, I'm twice your age. I literally have a daughter that's your age. So like, you know, and so like we're all, and it's just a continuous growth process. I mean, you are
Yep.
far, far ahead of the game of almost any
100%.
24, 25-year-old that I know. So
Yep.
like, don't beat yourself up. Don't get consumed by what we're talking about saying, oh, I got on that podcast, man, they just beat the crap out of me the entire time, because it can feel that way, but don't feel that way. Like, this is, this iron sharpens iron is the phrase, right? Like, we're here to sharpen your skills and to get you to that $1 million number, if that's the number you want to be to the 900,000 to 500, whatever that number is, and beyond, right? Like, that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah. I got one more thing for you, Mike. You need to go celebrate. You need to give yourself the celebration that you deserve, because what you've accomplished this year is beyond incredible. And we're going to be the first two people to tell you that, because I don't think you're telling yourself that.
Yep.
But
100%.
you deserve to be celebrated.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Mike, there's a book called The 12-Week Year. Do you read books at all?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I should.
I'll give you the idea around it, is that every 3 months you need to take a week or a long weekend, but typically a week every 3 months, not once a year, or once every 3 years in your situation. And you need to go somewhere of peace. Might that be you're celebrating in Arizona, you're going into the mountains and into a house because you didn't do good, but you need to take time away, because your emotions are so caught up inside of you, bro, right now, that you need to release, and there's no better person to release to than yourself.
Yeah. And I'll go one step further. I had a podcast with a guy yesterday that does very high-end coaching and fitness and health and mindset and all of these things. And he gave me this great idea, which is you need to take at least a half hour every day just as self-care.
Yeah.
Right. And I've told myself that for years, and then I don't really do it, but he gave me a great idea, which is he's on his wall. He actually has a list of 19 different options for what those activities can be. And it can be like, dude, take a walk, go with your dog, play with your dog. I mean, he had like take a run or go to a sauna or whatever those things are, but to actually get away for a half hour a day and just do what you need to do and have that time dedicated. And I thought that was it's an awesome idea for myself, because I don't do that enough. And it's something that it can recharge you and make you better at what you do.
Yeah. Mike, if you follow a couple of these things, bro, you're going to have a lot of relief. You will. You're getting caught. I could probably tell you're getting a little caught up in the online of you're comparing yourself to others, which is very difficult not to do. We've all done it. We all continue to do it. If you just
unfollow every detailing related Facebook group that you are currently in. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Like it's you, the toxicity.
Honestly, like there's like a couple worthwhile pages and like very few and far between, like very, very few.
Yeah.
There's so many guys that like they go on there and they're small business, like they're not even businesses. They're just dudes who wash cars or like vacuum cars and do stuff like that. It's not, Grant's not on Facebook all day long and helping people like that. He's going and building his businesses and getting wholesale accounts, so it's a different thing.
And we always say, who's not on social media bragging and creating drama? People that are too busy working and cashing checks in order.
I'm not even working.
You're just cashing checks.
I wish I was doing that. I just don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have an accountant to cash those checks. You don't.
You didn't even got to do that. Man.
Be super proud of yourself. I think what you're doing is awesome. I think, the nice thing about starting from where you are is that you literally can just go up, right? Like that's you've got all of those pieces that you need. And I'm just going to steal from Grant. You've got all the pieces are already there. You just have to put in, people and process in order to get it done. And, I think we'll come back to you. We'll see how it goes in the next, couple of months and see where you're at. Cause that'll be a good test. Cause like you said, we're in a challenging time. I'm not going to say slow period. You're in a time that requires different methodology in order to be successful. It's not slow. It's not bad. It's not the down season. It's none of that thing. You just need a different methodology to get to where you need to be that you had in June. So
slow season. Slow season is the perfect time to train. It is. You cannot have a better time of year to train a team than when it's a little slower. Not a better time. So a lot of these positions you need to fill, bro, this is the right time to do it. Financially or not. If you're like, oh, I'm so financially strained, fuck that. Wrong mindset. It's financially strained because I don't have time to do all this stuff. All right?
Right.
So, Mike, we're proud of you, dude. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you for opening
Yep.
up on here. I know it's not easy for you to do this and for you to, put yourself out there for everybody. Really, we all appreciate that. So thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you in a couple months.
Let's go. I'm talking to you sooner. I'm jumping on sales, baby. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's
there
go.
you go.
Let's do it.
No.
Let's
Yeah,
do
there
it.
you go.
Whenever you want, dude. I'm ready.
I'm following up with you. All right, team.
Head over to detailersroadmap.com and get your one-stop success solution today.